BlackRock. The very name evokes a sense of power, of something massive and immovable. And in the world of finance, this image rings true. BlackRock is not just a company, it's a financial behemoth. With assets under management exceeding $10 trillion, it controls more wealth than the GDP of most countries. This staggering scale of influence places BlackRock in a unique position, one that has drawn both admiration and scrutiny. Its tentacles reach across the globe, touching everything from retirement funds to the economies of entire nations. Founded in 1988, BlackRock's rise to prominence has been nothing short of meteoric. It has become a dominant force in the asset management industry, navigating the turbulent waters of global finance with remarkable success. From its headquarters in New York City, BlackRock exerts its influence on a global scale, shaping financial markets and influencing investment decisions worldwide. BlackRock's vast portfolio encompasses a diverse range of investments, from stocks and bonds to real estate and commodities. This diversification is a testament to the company's strategic prowess and its ability to adapt to changing market conditions. But with great power comes great responsibility, and BlackRock's actions have far-reaching consequences. Its investment decisions can make or break companies, influence government policies, and even shape the future of entire industries. This level of influence has led some to view BlackRock as a shadowy force, operating behind the scenes with little accountability. Others, however, see it as a stabilizing force in the global economy, a responsible steward of capital that helps to create jobs, drive innovation, and generate wealth. BlackRock's influence has been particularly evident during times of crisis. In the aftermath of the 2008 financial meltdown, it played a crucial role in stabilizing the global economy, providing much-needed liquidity to struggling markets. Similarly, during the COVID-19 pandemic, BlackRock stepped up to the plate, working closely with governments and central banks to mitigate the economic fallout. These interventions have earned BlackRock praise for its leadership and its willingness to act as a responsible corporate citizen. However, they have also fueled concerns about the company's growing power and its potential to influence government policy. Critics argue that BlackRock's close ties to governments create conflicts of interest, giving it an unfair advantage in the marketplace. They also point to BlackRock's investments in industries that contribute to climate change, arguing that the company's actions do not always align with its stated commitment to sustainability. BlackRock, for its part, maintains that it is a force for good in the world. It argues that its size and scale allow it to make a positive impact on global challenges such as climate change and income inequality. The company has also taken steps to increase transparency and accountability, publishing regular reports on its environmental, social, and governance performance. Whether BlackRock is a savior or a threat, one thing is certain: its influence on the global economy is undeniable. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, understanding the role of BlackRock and other financial giants will be essential to creating a more just and sustainable future. In the labyrinthine world of global finance, where trillions of dollars change hands daily, a select few institutions operate with an almost mythical aura. BlackRock is undoubtedly one of them. Often referred to as a shadow bank, its influence extends far beyond the realm of traditional banking, reaching into the very fabric of the global economy. Unlike conventional banks that rely on deposits, BlackRock draws its power from the vast pool of assets it manages. This enormous capital base allows it to provide financing and liquidity to governments and corporations alike, effectively acting as a lender of last resort. This role became particularly prominent during the 2008 financial crisis, when governments around the world turned to BlackRock for help in stabilizing their economies. BlackRock's expertise in managing complex financial instruments and its ability to deploy capital quickly made it an indispensable partner for governments facing financial meltdown. However, this reliance on BlackRock has not been without its critics. Some argue that it gives the company an unhealthy level of influence over government policy. After all, when a government owes you trillions of dollars, it's hard to say no to your requests. Others worry about the lack of transparency surrounding BlackRock's operations. As a private company, BlackRock is not subject to the same level of scrutiny as traditional banks. This lack of oversight, coupled with its sheer size and influence, makes some uneasy. They argue that it's dangerous to have so much power concentrated in the hands of one company, especially one that operates with such secrecy. Despite these concerns, BlackRock's role as a shadow banker is likely to continue growing in importance. In a world of increasing economic uncertainty and volatility, governments and corporations will continue to rely on BlackRock's expertise and financial firepower to navigate the turbulent waters of global finance. The year 2022 marked a turning point in global geopolitics with the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine war. As the conflict escalated, so too did the economic fallout, leaving Ukraine in a precarious financial position. In a move that surprised many, Ukraine turned to BlackRock for help, entrusting the firm with managing its economic funds amidst the chaos of war. This decision underscored BlackRock's unique position in the global financial system. Even in the midst of a major international conflict, BlackRock was seen as a beacon of stability and expertise, capable of safeguarding Ukraine's financial interests. The details of the arrangement remain shrouded in secrecy, but it is believed that BlackRock is assisting Ukraine in managing its debt, attracting foreign investment, and rebuilding its shattered economy. This move is not entirely out of character for BlackRock. The firm has a long history of involvement in emerging markets, often providing financial support and expertise to countries facing economic challenges. However, its involvement in Ukraine takes on a new significance given the high-stakes geopolitical backdrop. By stepping in to help Ukraine, BlackRock is not just managing money, it's playing a role in shaping the outcome of a major international conflict. This level of influence is unprecedented for a private company, and raises a host of ethical and geopolitical questions. Some argue that BlackRock's involvement in Ukraine is a force for good, providing much-needed financial support to a country fighting for its survival. Others, however, worry about the implications of a private company wielding such immense power on the world stage. They argue that it blurs the lines between the public and private sectors and gives BlackRock an outsized influence on matters of war and peace. BlackRock's penchant for operating behind the scenes is not limited to its involvement in geopolitical conflicts. The firm has a long-standing preference for discretion, often shying away from public scrutiny. While its CEO, Larry Fink, is a prominent figure in the world of finance, BlackRock itself maintains a relatively low public profile. This is a deliberate strategy, one that has served the company well over the years. By avoiding the limelight, BlackRock is able to exert its influence without drawing too much attention to itself. This approach allows the company to operate with a degree of freedom that would be impossible for a more public-facing institution. BlackRock's aversion to publicity is particularly evident in its handling of the media. The company rarely grants interviews or issues public statements, preferring to let its actions speak for themselves. This strategy has allowed BlackRock to avoid the kind of negative press that has plagued other financial giants. However, it has also fueled accusations of secrecy and a lack of transparency. Critics argue that BlackRock's penchant for secrecy is undemocratic, and that a company with so much influence should be subject to greater public scrutiny. They point to the company's investments in controversial industries like fossil fuels and private prisons as evidence of its willingness to operate in the shadows. BlackRock, for its part, maintains that its discretion is essential to its success. The company argues that it needs to be able to operate with a degree of confidentiality in order to protect its clients' interests and maintain its competitive edge. Whether one views BlackRock's preference for secrecy as a virtue or a vice, there is no denying that it is a central part of the company's DNA. BlackRock's influence extends far beyond the realm of finance, reaching into the very heart of our information ecosystem, the media. While the company itself might shy away from public pronouncements, its investments in major media outlets paint a different picture. BlackRock holds significant stakes in some of the world's largest media conglomerates, including Disney, Comcast, and News Corp, giving it indirect but substantial leverage over the information that reaches the public. This reality raises concerns about potential conflicts of interest, and the subtle ways in which financial interests might shape media narratives. Critics argue that BlackRock's vast financial holdings create a chilling effect on media coverage, discouraging critical reporting on the company itself or its business practices. After all, media outlets are businesses too, beholden to their shareholders, and biting the hand that feeds them is rarely a recipe for financial success. This influence, whether exercised directly or indirectly, has the potential to shape public discourse on a range of issues, from economic policy to climate change. When a single entity holds such sway over both the flow of capital and the dissemination of information, it raises fundamental questions about transparency, accountability, and the very functioning of a democratic society. The lack of transparency surrounding these investments only amplifies these concerns. While BlackRock is required to disclose its major holdings, the intricacies of its investment strategies and the extent of its influence over media companies often remain opaque. This opacity fuels speculation and mistrust, making it difficult to ascertain the true extent of BlackRock's influence on the media landscape. BlackRock's media investments are not isolated incidents but rather part of a broader pattern of strategic investments across various sectors. This web of interconnected investments creates a complex network of influence that touches upon every aspect of modern life. From the food we eat to the technology we use, BlackRock's investments have a ripple effect that extends far beyond Wall Street. This interconnectedness raises concerns about the concentration of power in the hands of a single entity. When one company holds sway over so many different industries, it creates a system where dissenting voices are stifled and alternative viewpoints struggle to gain traction. This lack of diversity of thought and perspective can have a stifling effect on innovation, creativity, and ultimately progress itself. The company's defenders argue that its investments are purely driven by financial considerations and that any suggestion of a broader agenda is unfounded. They point to BlackRock's fiduciary duty to its clients, which requires it to act in their best financial interests. However, critics counter that this narrow focus on shareholder value ignores the wider societal implications of BlackRock's actions. They argue that as a global corporate citizen, BlackRock has a responsibility to consider the ethical and social consequences of its investments, even if it means sacrificing some short-term profits. This debate highlights the growing tension between the pursuit of profit and the need for responsible corporate governance in the 21st century. As BlackRock continues to expand its reach, this tension is only likely to intensify. The most concerning aspect of BlackRock's media influence is the potential for censorship, whether overt or subtle. While there's no evidence to suggest that BlackRock directly dictates editorial decisions at the media outlets it invests in, the potential for self-censorship is a real concern. Journalists, editors, and media executives are acutely aware of their corporate overlords and the financial pressures they face. This awareness can lead to self-censorship, where critical stories about BlackRock or its business practices are quietly shelved, never to see the light of day. This chilling effect on investigative journalism can have a corrosive effect on democracy, undermining the public's right to know and holding powerful institutions accountable. The fear of losing funding or facing pressure from advertisers can be a powerful motivator for media outlets to toe the line. This is particularly true in the current media landscape, where many outlets are struggling to stay afloat financially. In such an environment, the temptation to avoid rocking the boat and jeopardizing crucial revenue streams can be overwhelming. BlackRock, whether intentionally or not, benefits from this climate of fear and uncertainty. The company's sheer size and influence create a sense of inevitability, a belief that challenging its power is futile. This sense of inevitability can be paralyzing, leading to a passive acceptance of the status quo and a reluctance to speak truth to power. The story of BlackRock is inextricably intertwined with the journey of its founder, Larry Fink, a man who rose from modest beginnings to become one of the most powerful figures in global finance. Born in 1952 into a Jewish family in Los Angeles, Fink's early life was far removed from the opulent world of high finance he would later come to dominate. His father, a shoe salesman, and his mother, an English professor, instilled in him the values of hard work, education, and a commitment to social justice. These values would stay with Fink throughout his life, shaping his worldview and influencing his approach to business. Fink's academic journey began at the University of California, Los Angeles, where he earned a degree in political science. This early interest in politics would foreshadow his later involvement in the corridors of power, albeit in the realm of finance rather than government. After UCLA, Fink set his sights on Wall Street, enrolling in the prestigious MBA program at the University of California, Berkeley. It was at Berkeley that Fink's passion for finance ignited, fueled by the intellectual rigor of the program and the allure of the fast-paced world it promised entry into. Armed with his newly minted MBA, THiNK embarked on his Wall Street career in 1976, joining First Boston, a prominent investment bank at the time. He quickly rose through the ranks, his sharp intellect and keen understanding of financial markets catching the attention of his superiors. THiNK's early success at First Boston seemed to confirm his place as a rising star in the world of finance, but fate, as it often does, had other plans. Larry Fink's time at First Boston was a period of rapid ascent and a crucible that forged his future path. Determined to chart his own course, Fink left First Boston, taking with him colleagues who shared his vision for a different kind of financial firm. The setback at First Boston ignited a spark in Larry Fink to build something new. In 1988, Fink founded BlackRock, focusing on risk management and innovation. BlackRock's meteoric rise is a testament to Larry Fink's vision and drive. The acquisition of PNC's asset management division in 1994 propelled BlackRock into the ranks of the largest asset managers in the U.S. The 2008 financial crisis saw BlackRock emerge as a pivotal player. BlackRock managed toxic assets, leveraging its expertise in risk management. BlackRock's involvement in the 2008 crisis was controversial. Despite criticisms, BlackRock's role in stabilizing the financial system cemented its position as a major force. The 2008 crisis presented BlackRock with an opportunity to expand its influence. Managing the U.S. government's troubled asset relief program generated substantial fees for BlackRock. BlackRock's growth in size and influence raised concerns. Critics argued that BlackRock's vast holdings gave it outsized influence over the global economy. BlackRock's influence extends into government corridors. Critics argue that BlackRock's close ties to government raise concerns about conflicts of interest. BlackRock exerts influence through lobbyists, campaign contributions, and close relationships with officials. Critics argue that BlackRock's political activities rig the system in its favor. BlackRock promotes its commitment to ESG principles. Critics argue that BlackRock's actions do not always match its rhetoric, raising concerns about its true commitment to ESG. BlackRock's rise from humble beginnings to a global colossus reflects the evolution of finance. The company's future depends on addressing ethical dilemmas and demonstrating that its power can be harnessed for the greater good. BlackRock's story is far from over. In many ways, it is just beginning. As the global economy becomes increasingly complex and interconnected, the role of financial giants like BlackRock will only become more pronounced. The decisions made in its boardrooms, the investments it chooses to make, the policies it chooses to support, will have far-reaching consequences, shaping the world we live in for generations to come. The challenge for BlackRock, and indeed for all of us, is to ensure that this immense power is wielded responsibly, ethically, and with a keen awareness of its impact on the lives of ordinary people. Transparency, accountability, and a willingness to engage with critics will be essential if BlackRock is to earn and maintain the public's trust. The future of power is not about domination but about stewardship, about recognizing that with great influence comes great responsibility. BlackRock has the opportunity, and indeed the obligation, to demonstrate that it is up to the task. The world is watching, waiting to see whether this financial colossus will use its power to build a more just and sustainable future, or whether it will succumb to the temptations of greed and short-sightedness that have plagued so many powerful institutions throughout history. The choice, ultimately, lies with BlackRock and its leadership.